Good morning. Yeah, I'm still
Yay!
tired. I'm just trying to wake up some more.
You-
long week. Had a good time. We talked about that today, but definitely I'm feeling it a little bit today again.
For those who don't know what Brett's talking about, he just came back from San Diego Comic-Con International.
Yeah, down in San Diego. I do love San Diego. The weather's always nice. A lot of great restaurants. I don't know if this is Scott's favorite, but I'm gonna say it is his favorite. We did get to eat one time at Hash House A Go Go, which has always been one of our favorites out there.
Oh
Breakfast.
yeah,
They're not doing dinner right now. Still, just breakfast lunch. They're only like open like 7 to 2 or something like that. So
yeah. Hash House of Go Go's great. Yeah, we've been to quite a few around the country.
yeah. The love the San Diego one. It's different than some of the other ones. Similar menu, but it's just something about it's just completely different. I think it's just the whole
Yeah.
vibe there. But definitely the one in Vegas on Sahara is my favorite. Outside of that, San Diego, follow, and then there's one at the link now. But they got like two more. I think that open up around the Las Vegas area. So they're
Yeah.
really popping up there. There's one in Orlando I've been to that's decent. And I think there's a few more around the country. They don't have tons, but if you see a Hash House to
Yeah.
go, trust me, you're gonna look. Oh, it's $20 for breakfast. You're getting
And
a ton of
yeah,
food.
go hungry.
Yeah, yeah. Don't go. Well, we'll have a snack, and then go. No,
Don't have something to hold
go.
you over. Go starving.
Yep, Kevin like Hash House. Yeah,
Mm.
Kevin got this great stuffed meatloaf. That looked really good. I got the meatloaf hash, which I always like for breakfast. And then they have they do it on like a wheat toast, which is a little different, but definitely they have a little side of like $3 something for cinnamon sugar toast. So it's like cinnamon toast. That was really tasty too. So just we only did that once because we ended up cooking like we did 3 years ago at the Airbnb to save a little money and make it a little easier so we're not rushing out every morning and then taking sandwiches with us too during the day, so we'd have to worry about trying to score food at the show. So
I did want to share really quick here.
yeah.
Here's Jill enjoying Hash House a Go Go last year. This was
So
in Vegas.
and being that she is part Hobbit, this was probably what, second breakfast for her.
Yeah, let's see. You can kind of get a glimpse of how big. That's the meatloaf I had last year. There,
Oh
it's
yeah,
awesome. I love their meatloaf there. And then this is her chicken and waffles.
yeah. Oh, it's huge. And the thing
Yeah.
is, they have great dinners too. I mean,
Oh
I've done
yeah.
both breakfast and dinner. I was a little bummed about the one in San Diego not doing dinner because I remember 3 years ago we had a really great fish taco there, and they had the meatloaf sticks, which they don't have.
Those are
this
so
time,
good.
so.
The meatloaf sticks.
Yeah, they're not doing them right now, but maybe down the road when they're the hardest part with some of these restaurants is they're just not, if they scale back, they're not rushing to go full days anymore, just for the fact that they don't have enough people to continuously have that going on. But people working there always seem really nice, happy, and excited. So morning, James. How you doing, bud?
James.
So James is a great supporter of all things Bardstone. But hey, we got a few things to talk about here. So I didn't even bring up my ad read. So let me bring that up real quick here. Where is it? It's somewhere.
I can go forward with Team Titans if you
Yeah,
want.
go for it.
Team Titans Real Estate. Why? Because you matter. That's right. Even though we utilize the latest in tools and technology to maximize your home buying experience, we never forget at the core, it's still a people business. That's right. We actually take the time to get to know you. Go figure. What a crazy concept. And, I say that kind of jokingly, but, what makes humor funny is it's true. So many people nowadays, all they want to do is communicate via text and well, that's many customers as well, which we're more than happy to accommodate. Unfortunately, that's a lot of professionals as well. They don't want to meet you. It's crazy. So we take the time to get to know you, what your goals are, what your needs are, and we'll customize our approach to custom tailor it to you. Here's an example of one of our clients here, Waterfront Living. If you had the dream of living on the waterfront, we got this awesome house, like $1 million lot, I'm telling you. And if you are a Full House fan, Dave Coulier owns the property 3 doors down. So, not just saying, in case you're a big Full House fan, we got a lot of nerds on here, so we might have
Nerds.
But but yeah, he owns 3 acres right down the street here. So,
Oh wow.
and speculation is, who knows? Maybe he's making that 3 acres into something nice there. And right now, he just has a little trailer on it. So who knows? Maybe he's going to build an amazing house there.
Probably
he's in
Detroit.
values.
He's around Detroit a fair amount.
Oh yeah,
And he's always, even with when he was on Full House back in the '80s and different stuff he's done, he's
yeah.
always been someone that's returned to the Metro Detroit area a lot.
Oh yeah, he actually would. I also follow him on TikTok. He'll do videos from that property because I recognize it, and he'll do sunrise photos over St. Clair. He did some other videos that I know are from that property because I recognize it. So, anyways, but this is a great house. It's got great bones, as they say. It needs some TLC on the inside as far as updates. It's a little outdated, but for the person who wants to put some sweat equity into this house, there's room to move up. If you look up at neighboring houses, $800,000-900,000 homes right on the street. So a lot of room to grow the value. So give us a call, 586-232-5144 to schedule a private showing. Or, if this isn't the house for you, there's other houses on the water and many other houses all throughout Macomb, St. Clair, Oakland counties.
Yes, yes, and I see it's in Chesterfield there,
Yes.
and going way back, Chesterfield used to be cigarettes, so Chesterfield because they satisfy.
I forgot about those.
So yeah, and then we've got Loringer Family Chiropractic Center, PC, located in Belleville, Michigan, and Dexter, Michigan, and they take great pride in providing the finest chiropractic care to each and every patient, offering on-site digital X-rays, massage therapy, orthotics by foot levelers, young living essential oils, all in a family-oriented environment. You can give them a call at 734-697-4244. That's the address right there, 125 West Columbia in Belleville, right across the street from the A&W Drive-In Restaurant. Been there forever.
So I've eaten there.
Yep, it's a classic A&W. So if you like A&W, it's still got all the original recipes plus the new stuff they had.
Yeah,
So
they got the drive-in, pull up, order from the car.
Oh yeah, they come out, take your order, bring it to you. You can have a little tray to eat there, or you can take it home, which I usually do is just take it home. But they only live about 5 minutes from there, so it's not too far. But I gotta tell you, I've been dealing with my knee issue. I'm getting better. I had some issues last week. I got adjusted right before we flew out. Had a couple days was rough. Worked, this was refreshing. Having a little bit of more of I rest and not running around working like my normal job helped a little bit. Still got some tightness, stiffness, but I'm definitely doing much better. Got adjusted yesterday. We actually did some X-rays just to make sure that there was nothing else going on that she couldn't see from the outside. So, and everything looks good inside. It's just some muscles and a little shifting and things like that. I just probably twisted it at some point and not realized it, because I'm pretty good about hurting myself and not feeling it until like days later. So but definitely chiropractic helped me out a lot. I've got several issues dealing with mobility really from my car accident, and that's where a lot of that comes in. So definitely check out if you're looking for a good chiropractor, give them a call if you're not in the area, or if you're in Southeast Michigan, Northwest Ohio, check them out. I mean, it's about 45 minutes from Toledo if you want to drive on up if you're not in that area. So definitely see what's going on with them.
Yeah. I just want, before we get into things, I just want to give two quick updates on a couple things. One, we talked about that Ripaverse. I just checked their campaign. They're up to 3.2 million.
Jeez.
They still have 58 days to go. So that's insane. But the more important and better project that I want to give everybody update on are actually two projects.
Yep.
If my thing will pull up, there it is. We got Roadkill Rampage issue 3. They're doing really well. They're at $2,800. They're just shy of $2,900. 52 backers, so they're really rocking it there. So go on Kickstarter, do a search for Roadkill Rampage. Rodney Fike, he's a great friend of ours, does phenomenal work. Always meets his goal, always delivers quality and on time.
Yep.
And then likewise, his Mr. from Another Sister, I don't know, Sean Forney. He's got Scarlet Huntress, which is really killing it. Look at that, $10,392, 222 backers, 13 days to go.
Yep.
So we highly endorse both of these guys.
They went, awesome. And Sean went through the kind of like the midway drop. He was over the $9,000 for the stretch goal, dropped under it, and now he's completely blown past it.
Yeah, it's like Rocky. He's starting to lose there in the middle, and then he comes back and swinging. And
I didn't keep up to last week with how they fluctuated, but I know that Sean and I believe Rodney were both at Gym City Comic-Con down in Dayton, Ohio, which is always a good one. Sean's always a top guest there. So I think people finally saw them and said, "Oh yeah, we got to support your Kickstarter," because that's the thing with the metrics. You don't always see stuff. So if you have people you like to follow, make sure you're actually following them on the socials, as well as when you sign up through Kickstarter, you can follow people there and get notified when they
Yeah.
launch projects. I got several people I follow, like Adam Talley, that when he posts something, if I not heard anything, I see it pop up through the Kickstarter. Terrell Colbert does the same thing on him. So I've got a few people I follow like
Yeah.
that I don't necessarily always see the Facebook stuff, but then also it pops up on Kickstarter. So it's a great way to make
Yeah.
sure you keep up with your current favorite creators.
Yeah, they're doing awesome. I don't know. I wonder if that's Sean's best yet. I don't know, but
I
he's really killing it.
think not the field guy, but the last issue for Scarlet. I want to say he was over 11,000, but
Was he?
I think he's got more supporters than before.
Okay.
So I think it's kind of a mix right now. But I think he's on a good potential with 2 weeks to go.
Yeah, he's usually the last week you get another surge.
Yeah.
So he's definitely on pace, I think, to set his record.
Yeah.
So that's awesome. So happy for them.
Yep, he's killing it. They're doing good, and 3,000 for Rodney. That's a great start to their campaign as well.
Oh
And
yeah,
I've definitely supported both, so I definitely recommend checking out both of those. So go to Kickstarter, look up Sean Forney or Rodney Fike. So
very good.
and
So you're back in Michigan.
I am. You know, I had a couple of neat things. I'll talk stuff first before we get into any of the San Diego reveals and panels, stuff like that. They didn't have as many. They had some signings inside. Some I just couldn't find any information on some because I was like, where do you go sign up? And people, it was confusing. Some were saying to go outside the show. Just some of the stuff they had outside to sign up to get the signing inside. I don't know. It was confusing.
That's what's so confusing because there's so many companies who set up outside the convention center. You don't know what. It's very confusing.
And you don't have to have a badge to do the outside stuff. Now there was some people I saw posting after the fact were upset that, hey, you know, we really try to do the outside stuff, but there's so many people without badges. It's like they should get priority. People with badges, it's like people without badges can't get in. So the outside stuff is open for everybody. They want people to come to the area because they get like 150,000 people inside the show every day, and they got another like 200,000 outside. It's just packed.
Well, the reality is, it's not a lot of that stuff out there has nothing to do with San Diego Comic-Con. It's companies who've decided to just set up independent of the show, outside of the show.
Yep,
to take advantage of all the people. So that's why they're not badge dependent either, is because they're not even connected with the convention.
Right. And there's a lot out there. I didn't really go out much. I went out once and then had to come back because I had a chance because I thought they would text me sooner than they did, but I'd gone all the way out to the gallery, and they had a Chuck Jones exhibit going on. And it was kind of neat. I was checking that out, and then I got a text that said, "Hey, you won the signing with Emily Swallows, which is the Mandalorian armorer." And I was like, well, okay, I got to go. So I had hustled back up there. Fortunately, my leg was actually moving good. So I got back 3 blocks, across the tracks, up the stairs, and into the convention center. And I knew where I was going. So I was right where I needed to be at pretty quick. The only thing they didn't tell us this was you had to pay for stuff she had to sign, pay her, or you had to buy something from the Entertainment Earth booth, which is fine because they came around and said, well, we have the Black Series action figure, and they were selling it for $25.
Well, that's a fair price.
I was like, they're like, if it'd been like something ridiculous, I'd like, screw you guys, I'm leaving. Yeah. But and it was.
I mean, I think right now it's $20 to $25 now if you go to Target.
Yeah, and Entertainment Earth is partnered with Target. That was part of their promotions being set up there. Was they have Target stuff? They'll have exclusives through them through Target that you can get. So I got the Black Series thing. And I'm gonna go full screen here and share this. And she was really nice. First time I had a chance to meet her, I told her, I said, I've seen you at shows, just never had a chance to go and actually meet you because I'm always busy working and I wasn't working this time. But there's "This is the way" is what she wrote for me.
It looks good.
Yeah, I put it in a little contained thing to protect it in that. And then the only thing was it was a long setup. I was in line. I went and checked in. Got there just at 2:30, which is when they started the check-in. Got in line. Of course, a bunch of people had already been there. Was able to grab a chair a couple times. Standing was just not moving was hurting me more than actually walking. When my leg would just start tightening up and locking up on me. So it was a rough 3 hours at times. By the time I finally got my autograph done, because she was spending time with everybody. So I'm not complaining. She was spending time. It wasn't like the normal signing where they're like rush you through. and that because they had her set up for an hour, but she was there for like 3-4 hours, and they told her that show ends at 7. You're gonna have to hurry up here at some point.
Yeah.
But real sweetheart, loved meeting her.
I've heard she's great to meet.
Yeah, she's an actress that has done stuff. She was in Supernatural, The Mentalist. She's got a lot of other credits, one shot stuff like that. But I mean, I think she's someone that realizes the way she was with every fan was that she's one of those actors like, hey, I got lucky here. I got some of these fans want to come see me in and will want to for
The rest of
decades
her
ago.
career.
Yeah, so she was real nice. She'll be in Colorado Springs when I'm there. I told her I would try to see her there, say hey to her. Stuff like that. The other thing is I went by the Clerks booth. They had a little mock setup on that, and I scored
Oh,
a poster on preview. And I walked by, they're like, "Oh yeah, here's a poster. Here's a poster." I have a feeling they weren't supposed to be giving out the way they were doing at first.
oh.
I'm not complaining. I got mine. She was like,
Nice.
"Oh yeah, here's your bag. Here's your poster. We only got 250 of these to give out every, so 50 of them a day." And I was like, "Ooh, they're already selling from. I've seen as low as 70, as high as $150 online."
Oh, wow.
As is, not signed.
Interesting.
So,
Wow.
so it was pretty cool. But I did get a couple of pictures taken around the booth. They had like a mock set up, like you're in the store. I wasn't there when Kevin and Jason showed up, and Brian O'Halloran was, I think, there. Jeff, they all had panels and that. And then Marilyn Gigliotti plays the girlfriend in the original Clerks. Was upstairs signing. I didn't talk to her, but I've seen her before. She's always really nice. I didn't go to the panel. I did try to win to get in the panel because you got some free swag as well as front row seating for Kevin's panel on Clerks 3. But that was in Hall H, and I was not messing with Hall H at all.
No,
so.
Yeah, I don't care for Hall H much.
People just post like, "Oh, we got these groups and doing these group things, swapping in and out, stuff like that." I don't want to spend I spent most of the day on Saturday in the panels, but I don't want to spend trying to fight to get a wristband for days to get in. You don't want to leave, and you can leave and go to the bathroom. You got to have a group there to protect your spot, and all that. But it's just it's just a little ridiculous.
Real quick, hold up the armor again. Okay, so this is the Black Series.
Yes.
I love their packaging. I love their figurines. I love the artwork on it. Have you seen the uproar that they've been causing lately?
No.
Here's the new packaging. They're advertising it as plastic free, so you don't even see the character. Actually, this one looks like there's a cutout, but the ones they were showing earlier didn't even have a cutout. And people are like, well, this is stupid. How are you even going to know how do you know the character is even in the box? And
yeah. And for those of us that, and I will open my figures at times.
Right.
This one I won't because it's signed. I'm going to leave it as is.
Oh yeah.
But I'll open other ones. But if you don't open them, you're like, I just want to keep it. You never know what's in there, and you got to open it. And if you open it, then it's no longer mint in box.
Yeah.
For collectors and stuff like that. So
people online, the conspiracy going around was this is how they're going to get rid of their Last Jedi figures, is sneak them into all these boxes with other artwork.
Oh, I saw a few booths that had Last Jedi stuff, and nobody's touching it.
No, nobody touches it.
And it was cheap.
People can claim it's so good all they want. The money proves. I can still buy the characters on the shelf down at my Meijer here. Yeah. No one wants them.
What they're doing and had it on their site is they're going 100% carbon free, they call it. So it's just, I personally, it's crap. Like they have ways. The problem is they've got ways of creating plastic without using petroleum. They've developed other ways, and that's what they should be looking at. And it's stuff that they're worried about, the environment. Most of these boxes are not ending up in the trash. I mean, there's some, probably I would say 20% tops, because most people buying these are collectors.
Well, the other question though is with these new plastics and everything though, what kind of condition will they be in 20, 30, 50 years from now? Will they deteriorate? Will they yellow? Because they're made to deteriorate faster.
Yeah.
So,
and
time will tell.
And they're using the cardboard they're using for the boxes, stuff like that. It's going to be interesting on that. But that's the thing is like this. I can see the figure and I see the autograph. Now, what's the reason?
I want to see the figure. They're so cool looking. Like,
it's why would I buy one if I can't see it? Especially if I'm going to have it signed, and especially if they're all the boxes are the same.
If they're going to go that route, I would rather just sell me an empty box at a cheaper price. I'll pay for the packaging.
Yeah.
I don't need the figure at that point.
And as it was, I had to buy, it was only $11 and I got like 8 of them, but I bought an extra plastic outside to help protect it. So
Hey,
just
Mike.
so I can get it home because I was worried about damaging it, even though I carried it in my backpack. Was not
Right.
packing this as it was. Kevin had a nice little visit in his bags while we were flying out, and his markers were missing.
Yeah.
So
Oh,
I don't.
that sucks.
Yep. So no telling what else was taken because I know people have always posted how, oh yeah, I had some prints missing. I've had people have had
Yep.
medals missing, stuff like that. So I said, yeah, you probably got to start doing
The
uh,
trusty TSA.
an inventory list and taping it right in there when they open it up and say, "This is what I have in this bag. If you would like to buy it, here's how much it costs. Please leave the cash here."
Put a little tip jar in your luggage.
Pretty much, because I mean it's ridiculous how stuff, and we know it came out of Detroit. So there we go. The old school card backs. They do some of
Yeah,
that. They're doing that with the classic. Do I have one handy here? I mean, it's yeah.
I do
Here's
like those.
that's the Mandalorian one right now for the
Yeah,
three
those are
quarters. Yeah.
fun.
Yeah.
They do it with the 6-inch too with the re-release figures, don't they?
Yes. Yes. The bigger ones are doing that
But
too.
yeah,
So.
I do enjoy those.
Well, you can take
Take
pictures all you
pictures
want
as
and
you
pack.
pack your bags. There you
Yeah.
go.
But at that point, it doesn't matter. I just want to put a list in there with a, hey, here's how much it costs. Here's how much you better leave in my dang bag, I mean, we've actually, I think all three of us have done this when we've gone through, and we didn't get searched this time, but when we've gotten searched at TSA, of course, we're going through pre-check. So pre-check makes it a little bit easier for us when you go through. But I've been times where I've gone through and they've searched my bag and like, oh, this is cool. This is cool. Oh man, how much is this? And I've had people pay me at the TSA checkpoint for a print.
Yeah, I believe Kevin has done the same.
Yeah.
I want to say one of the trips we did, he sold a bunch to the TSA guy.
Yeah, he did. It was I think it's the Atlanta one when we did Days of the Dead.
Yeah.
But it was hilarious. And then I got paid one time because the little guy was like, he goes, I got to get up there. My flight's about to take off. And so he paid me $20. I was just going to let him go. I didn't care. So,
yeah, Mike is a fellow brother of mine in the 501st. This is a scary thing. Like when I went to a celebration in Anaheim and I packed my Stormtrooper gear, I was scared to death it was going to be stolen. But it all made it okay. But yeah, take all the photos and everything and stuff. It's scary. I don't think I would fly again with it in there because I just don't trust people.
well, I think it's one of these to take pictures. You log what's in there and have a sheet taped in there, and they'll say, hey, I know what's in here. But I mean, the thing with the armor though is most likely if they were going to steal it, they try to steal the helmet.
Yeah, and I carried that on me. I didn't pack that. I carried it with me. So that I had in a carry-on.
Let's see here. Can TSA open your unopened windowless box figures you buy on a trip?
Oh, good.
That's a good question.
Technically they probably can.
They probably could. Yeah, if they're going through this stuff, they could probably go through stuff. I mean, I have all like the comics and stuff and everything in boxes. So if you have stuff kind of loose and like, oh, here's a clear bag with all my markers or a pin bag, they might grab that and just keep the whole thing. I don't know. I didn't really count my comics when I took them. They could have taken stuff out of there for all I know.
But when I did my Stormtrooper gear, I even included right at the top. So if they opened it, a photo of me in costume and with a big message. This is, I'm a member of the 501st. This is my costume. Here's a picture of me in costume. So I didn't want them going through everything because it had to be packed a very specific way to fit. Right. And I didn't want them taking it all out and then crushing it back in. And
and damaging it.
It all arrived fine. It all came back home fine. So hopefully that worked. But that's what I did. But maybe with markers and stuff, you put on there like I'm an artist. These are my markers. I don't know.
I don't know. I don't think it's a problem carrying. I carried the few I had with me for signing and stuff like that. If I did any signing stuff in my backpack. So, but if you've got a set, block set, it could be, you want to pack that just because it's going to be with all your show stuff and so it's hard to say. It's tough on stuff like that, and it's stuff that, and it's not just TSA, it's any organization, but there's always one or two people that make it all look bad in terms of that. So something to keep in mind there. But we had a lot of reveals there. A couple of these I'll talk about first before we get into the Marvel stuff and things like that is a couple of panels I went to. I went and saw the panel for Evil. And if you're not watching this show, here we go. Kevin, one more thing. All my prints were mixed up. Boxes were not taped shut. All Copics and pens were gone. Yep.
That's a lot of money for Copics.
Yeah, and I didn't tape them this time, but I'm gonna go through and retape all my boxes that the comics net are in for sure. Because I put blue painter's tape around them just to help protect, keep them closed anyway, so they don't move around. And I didn't get searched. I didn't see. I still have to finish go through with the one bag, but I didn't see any TSA. They leave a thing saying they've been in your bag, which is funny. They let you know that they stole from you.
Yeah.
So,
Right.
but yeah, definitely. Like I said, panels went for the show Evil. It's showing on Paramount Plus. They do show it on CBS usually, um, and it's a now after the first season was on CBS, and after that, being on Paramount Plus, they've got a little more edgier, a little
A
more
lot.
adult. Yeah. So
It's not for TV.
yeah, are you sharing the Evil thing
I'm
or
trying to find the evil page. Hold on.
I
That's
was
not
gonna
the evil
Yeah,
page.
I'll just bring up I got a picture.
You got it?
Yeah, just a picture.
Yep.
So there it is right here. So
There you go.
yep. Now they had some of the cast there. Unfortunately, Michael there who plays the priest was not there. He couldn't make it in, and one of the other guys was supposed to help moderate the panel wasn't there, so they had someone else moderate it. But definitely was a fun panel. The main character Katya was there, uh, as well as Christine Lottie, who played her mom. And then I always get his name wrong, but he plays Ben, and he's the Indian.
Michael. Michael.
Mike Colder plays David. He was not there.
Yeah.
Michael Emerson, who plays Leland, was
Emerson.
supposed to be. He was supposed to be there. He wasn't
Emerson.
there either. It's Azif Manvi is plays Ben. He's the Indian
Oh,
guy.
when you said Ben, because Michael Emerson is
Played Ben
Ben
on
in
Lost. Yep.
Lost.
I know. So
that's why I was thinking Emerson.
So we had Katya Herber's there. It's funny, she's got a natural American accent, even though she's Dutch. In that,
I'll tell you what, I'm still my petition for her. Mm-hmm. I swear, if you put the right hairstyle on her, she would be a perfect Leia for post Return of the Jedi stories.
Yes,
I think she would be a perfect Leia.
She could pull it off if they changed their
even her voice, the tone of her voice and everything. It wouldn't be an impression of Carrie Fisher, but she would play a great alternative actress as Leia. I think.
Yeah. Where Star Wars has said they're not going to recast these roles now, which I think is dumb. I think it's like we're past that now, and they can go ahead and do stuff if they want to tell good stories with those characters. Because it's not just as much as we loved Carrie Fisher as Leia. If you can find someone that could play it well, and I think the looks wise,
she'd be perfect.
So, yeah, and she's fit. She got herself from the first season to the third. She's got herself a little more shape. And part of it is for this third season, we've had scenes of her where she's wearing less clothes. Because they definitely get very risque in a couple things.
Yeah, they get very risque at parts.
Yeah.
But I think this show is a masterpiece as far as the way they handle. I'm myself. I'm a believer. I'm a Christian, and I think they handle the faith components very well in this without it. A lot of times when Hollywood produces something with faith, they kind of just hack it to pieces. But there's a lot of great stuff in here, and how they deal with temptation, how they deal with the spiritual warfare. I think my favorite character, I'm about halfway through season 3 right now, is Sister Andrea. She is awesome.
Oh, she's fantastic. That is
Andrea Mitchell or
let me see what here. She's also in the My Big Fat Greek Wedding movie. So she's actually over in Andrea Martin plays Sister Andrea. Just a phenomenal actress all the way around. She's got great comedic when she's in the other stuff. She's been around for a long time. I mean, she's on Evil now. I don't know if she continues on because they haven't announced the next season yet.
I was surprised when I looked her up that she was a comedian because she plays that role so perfectly.
Oh yeah, I think that's what helps is having a comedic background. Is that, but when you see her in the Big Fat Greek Wedding movies, the first two, she's really great. The first one cracks me because she's always like she talks to the guy that's going to marry the main girl, and he's like, "Well, I'm a vegetarian." She goes, "That's okay. We make your lamb." I mean, the way her delivery is just spot on. Mm-hmm. It's always funny. She's not the writing, of course, works to her delivery, and that's where it is. If you look, she's got a lot of voiceover work. She's got definitely big stuff on that. She was in the My Big Fat Greek Life, which is a TV series spinoff that only lasted like one season, not even a full season on that. But she's been around for a while doing all kinds of stuff. So definitely, I'm excited about her being on the show because she's just great
Yeah.
in that. But the panel itself was good. It started off with the Kings, which is the couple that created the show. They Michelle and Robert King. They did a little video because they were shooting another series they do. And they said, "Hey, we're giving you a sneak peek of the upcoming Evil episode." So the episode I saw on Saturday is the one they aired on Sunday. Unfortunately, I was already caught up, so I didn't have to worry about that stuff. And it was kind of neat to watch it in that group environment and
Yeah.
us all laughing at the same time and things like that. Phenomenal episode if you haven't seen it this week, if you are watching them as they go on, like I've been. And then I said they brought out the stars, and they had a great time joking. You can see they all get along really well because it's one thing where you'll see like interviews like, "Oh yeah, we're all family, we're all this," and there's sometimes you can tell like, "Okay, you're all just saying that," and there's time you can see that up there, they're just messing around, they're joking back and forth, and you can tell that even though they're at odds on the show, Christine Lottie and Katya, who play mother daughter, really get along great with each other. So just so much fun.
The mother's character there has
Mhm.
also, I right now where I'm at, she just got to meet the manager.
Yeah.
So
Oh, you're a couple episodes back yet, so
yeah, I'm guessing halfway through the season.
yeah,
So she just recently met, like the episode before, I think she met the manager.
yeah,
But so that's been interesting as well.
yeah. Now Christine Lottie's a veteran actress from Birmingham, Michigan, of all places.
Really?
Yep, I tell you, Michigan's got some of the best talent. They either born here or move here to grow their talent, just like Scott did. He moved here so he could become talented. Otherwise, he'd be nothing living in New Hampshire, going,
Yeah.
"Oh yeah, I know, sometimes dead is better." Yeah, but she's been around forever. I mean, she's got, I mean, just miles of list of appearances, movies, things like that. I remember
Kevin's
seeing her in the
outing her
80s. So
age.
yeah, well, she was born in 1950. And so she's gonna
So
be
72.
yeah, she's 72 now. And she looked in person. It's one thing to be on camera, they can dial you. In person, she come out and I shared a few pictures. I can find them all so we can pop them up here. But she looked phenomenal. I was kind of a distance back because I wanted to be able to see everything, and sometimes you want to be close, but it's tough when so much is going on. So let's see here if I can pull stuff up there. But yeah, so that was a great panel. And then I stayed all day for this one. I started off with Evil. That was
Before you move on from
yep,
Evil, any juicy nuggets? Like anything about assuming, is there going to be a season 4? Did they cover anything like that?
not at all.
Not at all.
Right now it's just the current season.
Okay.
They hope it can come back. It's one of the things where I haven't seen any renewals. They didn't really get into that at all.
Okay.
So it's definitely up in the air. Same thing with the Orville, which I'll get to in just a second.
Yeah.
Because I decided, this was Saturday, I decided to spend the day at the panel room 20, which is
that upstairs?
It's upstairs. It can be difficult to get in at times. I tried 3 years ago, and when I would see the Orville panel then, and it was pretty much, I was not getting in. It was when I got in line, they said, "Oh yeah, it's like 2.5 hours." I knew I'd miss the panel. So I thought I created an album here. Oh, maybe I did on my phone. So okay, so maybe I can't share any pictures right now. So or only if I'm a post. Maybe I got a post here. Oh, real quick, if you heard about Tony Dow, they said he passed away, but then his family came back and said no, he didn't. He's in hospice.
Yeah.
So which I was like, well, darn, because he seemed like a nice guy, and let's see here.
That was Wally, right?
That was Wally. Yes, Wally.
Leave it to Beaver.
Yep.
What star did that just happen to where they announced he was dead? The family announced he was dead, or she was?
That was a female one. I don't have a picture of Christine Lottie up here.
Happened. It's like, come on, family. Know if your family members are dead or not.
Well, supposedly it was the wife said that he had died, and I think it was she's she's just distraught. Maybe he's dying, or he's just, whatever. I don't know. It's one of the things where he's in hospital. It's probably, unfortunately, he's got cancer.
He's going too soon,
and it's a shame because he's actually. I met him several years ago at Motor City Comic Con, probably actually more than 10 years ago. That's when he was there with The guy played Eddie Haskell, who unfortunately passed, and then the guy played Lumpy has passed. And so I met him. And Tony Dow was just one of the nicest guys in the world. He's just very genuine with everybody and spent time with people and stuff like that. So yeah, I don't have a picture of Christine Lottie. So after that, I did stay, and there was a few more panels. They had a American Dad panel, which I really don't watch the show. They showed some clips that were funny. I stayed through that, and then they did a Family Guy one. Nobody from Family Guy was there, and they had a video with one who plays Lois, and she said they were sorry they couldn't be there this year. Hopefully next year they'll be back for a regular panel. But they showed the season premiere for Family Guy. That was fun. Tanya Roberts, that was the other one, yeah. And then she died like 3 days later for real.
Oh, that's who it was. Yep.
Yeah. And then what was the other one? They did oh crap, it came into my head and went out my head. It's a new series coming up. I did try to stay through the panel the day before for the National Treasure one. Oh, I know it was the interview with the vampire one. That's what I stayed through. That's what I stayed through that one Saturday.
I saw the trailer was released for that.
Yeah, the thing with the trailer and with the series they're doing, they're kind of intermixing the books a little bit. But this series, it sounds like it takes place for the story being told by the vampires, talking about and it's the not Lestat but the other one. It's his time when he was in New Orleans from like 1910 to 1940, and I guess there was a town part of New Orleans that is no longer there. It's been wiped out, probably built of downtown or something like that. We'll get into that they're using as the setting for that. I like the way it looked. They're definitely spending money on the looks of it. They're following the books a little more.
Are you a fan of the other one?
The movie was okay. Yeah. I've seen it once, maybe twice. Yeah. I really didn't care to see it.
I have to say, I don't understand the love of the interview with the vampire.
The books is what most of the people. It's the books. It's not been the movies, and that's what they talked about. They went back to that. So I will give this a try. It's gonna be on AMC.
It's not a movie. It's a series.
It's a series. Yes.
Oh, okay.
That's where I think it's going. If it was a relaunch of the movies, I wouldn't care. I'm not going to go spend 2 hours for essentially would be because you can't tell enough story.
Right.
So with this covering the years, and the actress that's playing Claudia, she's like 19 in real life, playing a 14-year-old in that. But I like they talk to the actors, and of course, the hardest thing with a show that you haven't seen, they're trying to talk about is they can't get too much into it. What I like though is they did talk about where they're coming from with the story. The actors talked about so how they got the roles, things like that. I enjoyed that panel versus the National Treasure one, where they're constantly trying to talk about stuff, and I didn't care for the personality of the actors for National Treasure. I may check it out when it launches next month on Disney Plus, since it doesn't cost anything, and maybe it'll be better. Maybe they actually have a better personality when they're told how to act versus how they are in real life. So we'll see on that. But I left that panel because I was like, this sucks. I didn't care for any other panels after it. So I just left and went back out to the show and hung out. That was Friday. And then after that is when the Orville panel came up. And definitely, I don't know if Scott hasn't watched the Orville yet this season.
No, but I'm excited about what you sent me for the news.
Yes.
So I can catch up.
Disney Plus is going to be showing all the episodes starting August 10th. Now, I've been seeing a lot of stuff about this with Disney Plus put on both Deadpool movies. They've had Logan. I think what they're doing is Disney Plus is switching how they do things with Hulu and Disney again. Disney Plus is getting a lot of this stuff. It's going to get like the Orville. It's going to get some certain things, even though it was a Hulu original. And if it continues on, I wouldn't be surprised if it doesn't continue on Disney Plus, but it could be where they go Hulu first, and then launch on Disney Plus. They're just trying to maximize viewership.
Well, Disney only has they have a small percent, like a 20% ownership of Hulu or something, don't they?
No, they have 100%.
Oh, they're 100.
When they bought 20th Century Fox, that gave them, I believe, 80%, and then they bought the other 20% from the other studios.
It's like with owning 100%, why not just merge it with Disney Plus? Why have two separate? Why have a competing channel?
I think that could be something they may do down the road. I'm thinking, well, here's my thing on this. Let me tell you what I think they're doing is, they're really pushing their 20th Century Studios, not 20th Century Fox or it's just 20th Century Studios. I think we're going to see a lot more of that stuff going there. Yeah. And then anything that's Disney. And of course, Seth MacFarlane likes to say, hey, Orville, this has been Disney the whole time. It's not been Hulu. They ported it to Hulu when they were buying it. So that's when they announced
Right.
it 3 years ago. That deal was done. And so I think they said, "Oh, we'll put you on Hulu," because they didn't know I don't think they knew then how the direction
Yeah.
they want to go with Disney Plus yet. Now they're reorganizing stuff
Yeah.
again.
I
So
think
I
the
think Hulu's going to be
original
that.
I
So
think the original plan was Disney Plus was going to be more pure Disney and like teenage and under, and they were going to keep adult content over. So like if they did Punisher, it would be over on Hulu because that was more
right,
mature. But they're really blurring the lines now and putting everything over to Disney Plus if it's Marvel or anything like
right,
that. So with the Orville, that gives them they're getting a true fan base, and that gives Disney a true competitor against Star Trek
yep,
because
yep.
they're getting the Star Trek fans.
Yeah, and I think that's what we're seeing. Plus, Hulu has FX is really big on Hulu, and they were kind of and with the whole booth at San Diego, they had a Disney. It switched between Disney Plus, FX, and Hulu. So I think the FX is all being shown on Hulu. I think all the TV stuff is being ported right to Hulu, where the Orville is no longer on broadcast television. It's now a streaming show, and you can see like the episode I just watched from last week. I caught up with it yesterday. It was almost an hour and a half long. And that was the thing that was questioned them at during the panel was Seth answered it. And Seth did it by Zoom. He wasn't in studio in there. He was working on a new project and he was not in the area. But he said that they now have the freedom to tell a story and not feel constrained to 43 minutes. So
Right.
they have that time. So it's telling better stories. I've been enjoying the stories a lot this year. I know the complaint I see online most is, "Oh, it's not as funny as it was." I never thought it was that funny in the first place. I always thought the humor was more work style humor, where you kind of joke with your friends, stuff like that, versus a established, set
Yeah.
up sitcom humor.
I think season one, first half of season one, I think it was a little bumpy because some things got too silly and some were more serious. And I just think, as most shows do, they found their voice. As it went on, they figured out the right mix for their series,
Yeah,
and it is more serious. But I think the complaint is just people are trying to shoehorn McFarlane into comedy, but he is a true Star Trek fan. I mean, his very first home movie he ever did was a Star Trek episode
right.
a homemade Star Trek episode. He's a hardcore Star Trek fan, and this is what he wanted to see from Star Trek in a way. So
Yeah. Yeah,
I
and he's done a great job. And like I said, this is and there's humor this season. I mean, there's an episode you'll see that there's a couple of things going on between the two of the crew members, and it's a new thing that we hadn't really done
yeah,
before between these two, and it was actually quite funny. But they did it a
yeah,
few times throughout it. But it's not trying to be a constant comedy. This isn't like like a Brooklyn 911
yeah,
or something like that, where it's a comedic show.
yeah,
They're dealing with going the old Star Trek route of we're going to deal with some issues. We're not going to be too blunt about it.
yeah,
We're just going to have it here and go from there. But it's definitely I've been enjoying the season. They got asked about season 4. At this time, they are not renewed.
yeah,
As he put it, he goes, "We have to wait till the season gets airing. They got 2 more episodes, and then it'll go over to Disney Plus." But I think with the fact they had a solid panel, it was a packed out panel.
yeah.
The fact that they are moving to Disney Plus. If Disney didn't care about this show, I
They
don't think
wouldn't
they would move it.
bother. They wouldn't
Yeah,
bother.
just leave it
This
on
is to
Hulu.
pump up the numbers,
Yep, and
and
I
they're
think
going to get it.
yeah, I think they believe in it, and they're seeing something that could be definitely good here. And we'll get to that real quick when we get the other stuff. We're going to go a little bit over, I think, today, but not too
Yeah,
much. So the Orville panel was great. They had a lot of the cast there. They had Mark Jackson, who plays Isaac. They had Bordas and Clyde in there. They had the doctor, Penny. She was there. She got asked a great question because she's been on a couple sci-fi series and that, but which boyfriend slash husband or whatever is her favorite? And of course, Mark Jackson goes, "I'm sitting right here," because he's Isaac from season 2. They have she mentioned Cisco when she was
oh,
involved with Cisco. She's a great actress on that. And then they
I,
had the new gal that's playing on there, playing been a part of this good season here. So
I think the most underrated part of the Orville, though, is not the show itself. It's really revealing McFarlane as being very talented beyond just what we all view him as. Unlike Taika Waititi, who's being revealed to be just able to do one thing and that's it.
Mhm.
Almost like Jon Favreau. If you look at the start of his career, he played Phoebe's like MMA or Courtney Cox's MMA boyfriend or something, and he played all these goofy roles,
Well, you
and
go
then he
early.
was seen as funny. But now look at his career.
Yeah, he was in PCU, played Gutter, and
Yeah.
was just a grunge guy who's not very bright. Goes and does Rudy, plays a
Hmm.
brighter guy, but still a bigger guy. Does his own movie Swingers, pops
Right.
up on Friends, does Maid, and then he's kind of just, and then they come to him and say, "Hey, we got this little thing to do," and he ends up doing Elf, and that becomes his big breakout where he shows he
Yeah.
can not just act because he still acts in a lot of stuff, but he can show run, and
Right.
we're seeing that with Mandalorian.
And I think we're seeing that with Seth MacFarlane is
Yep,
he can
replacements. Yep,
do different things,
yeah.
not just comedy.
Yeah. So I
So
think that's what we're seeing out of this, and I think we're going to see some more from the Orville. My thing is this: is
yeah,
if you like it, make sure you're streaming it, watch it, tell your friends. But
my
I
my
think it sounds good.
my bold prediction is Disney is setting up to make this a flagship type franchise to go against Star Trek. I think
Yeah,
they're going to really grow it, and then it's going to become a universe almost like the Mandalorian and all them, the Star
yeah,
Wars stuff that they're doing. This will give a great sci-fi for people who want more sci-fi than fantasy, where Star Wars is more fantasy.
yeah,
Um, so that's my prediction. They're
yeah.
going to
And
keep growing it.
Paramount did announce some Star Trek stuff, which I won't get into because it wasn't nothing new. It was just rehashing what they're already doing. So,
Yeah.
but hey, we got some Marvel announcements came out. I was not in the hall for these because I was not going to fight Hall H. But here's the new Phase 5.
Phase 5,
Yeah, we're finishing
which,
up Phase 4 with the Wakanda Forever movie, which they did a trailer of.
yep.
Then we go to Phase 5, which is taking us right through 2024, and then switch over to Phase
So
6. So
Phase 5 is going to face some challenges because it's a fact. Phase 4 is very ho hum for a lot of fans. It's getting a lot of pushback. There are some good stuff, but some not so good stuff. And I watched this analysis somebody did last week of Phase 4, and it made really good sense. So it's given me hope for Phase 5.
mhm.
They broke it down to a timeline of how everything was filmed for Phase 4, and things were being filmed everything was done at the same time because COVID put this big block in there. Everything was being filmed together, and they were speculating because everything was being done simultaneously. They had no time with the previous phases. Things would come out and they could see what worked, what didn't work, and like help shape the storyline moving forward. They had a rough outline, but they would shape it as they went. Whereas this, everything was just done as this big giant lump thing where some things were shot before other things that, things that were coming out first were shot later. And the production schedule was all simultaneous. So
Well, in a way, that's what I've been saying for a while. I treat these as just regular comics that were coming out. They were not part of any gross thing, but they
yeah,
were dropping little hints of stuff like, okay, we want to drop a few things here and
yeah,
there. We're going to come back to them, but these are all just one shot stuff all the way through this year, and
yeah.
even the Wakanda thing. The Wakanda one, I think is going to be. The trailer didn't look bad. I think it's going to be more of them just resolving the fact that
Yeah.
Chadwick Boseman's not here. They definitely
But,
are going to pay homage to him, as
but
well as they're setting up stuff for this next phase. Because we saw in the
yeah.
trailer from Ironheart, she's in that.
Yeah, but that's the bull crap stuff. So now
Namor,
it's
stuff like
like
that. So
Namor, that Ramon, you mean? Like Namor, fans have been dying for Namor. And what the hell is this that they reveal? I mean, come on. It's
mhm.
some Mexican Aztec guy. They even changed the name instead of him being from Atlantis, it's Teclicon or something. It's like, come on, guys. This is BS. I don't know.
No, I'm waiting to see on that if how it plays out. I mean, I haven't seen anything past Wakanda if you're even going to use him because he's not getting his own stuff at this time now.
I
But
think he'll be
this
in Fantastic Four. In
possibly,
the in the
I
comics, he was very heavily tied with Fantastic
yeah,
Four,
and
but
there's other places they
who
could put him. But
knows?
over the next couple years, we've got like Ant-Man Quantumanium's coming out. Now, there's been some speculation that that's where they'll actually see the first glimpse of the Fantastic Four is
Yeah,
Quantumania,
and that
and then of
is
course
where
Guardians.
they confirmed Kang will be in Quantumanium. They did
Yes,
confirm that.
well, they've already cast the entire thing is called the MCU Multiverse Saga. It's going to cover phases 5 and 6. Kang is the bad guy for this one, so
Yes.
they by not using them these last couple, it's because they're saving them for all this other stuff, and they now know what's going to work. Because people got excited after seeing it pop up with Loki, so we'll see that. So Quantum Mania, Secret Invasion is going to be part of it. Secret Invasion will lead down to Secret Wars, because Phase 6 is going to have 3 films so far: Fantastic Four and 2 Avengers films, and one of them is Secret Wars, and then Kang, which is basically going to do like a Infinity War Endgame type probably wrap up. For Phase 6, though, that's all they announced. There's still a lot of gaps in there they haven't announced yet.
They did announce the director for Shang-Chi will be the director for the Avengers.
Yes, so for the Kang one, yeah. So I thought he did fine with the Shang-Chi.
I thought he did fine, but he didn't do stellar. I don't know. I think the Avengers is their flagship, and I don't know.
Well, we'll see. I think also it depends on between now and then things could change too because they haven't started filming that. But a lot of the stuff that's coming out of this next phase, Quantum Mania, I'm looking forward to. Guardians, looking forward to another season of Loki. Blade sounds interesting. I'm curious about the Agatha series to see how that goes. I liked her character in WandaVision,
but she's not a like. I don't understand her having a title.
She's a series, though. I think what that is that's where they're introducing more of the witchcraft and the mystical stuff within that realm. So that's all that's coming from.
Now with the Echo series, though, it's being rumored. I don't know if it was officially confirmed. The woman who plays from Daredevil, she had her own series, Jessica.
Jessica
Jones. Jones, right?
Yeah,
Jessica Jones. It's rumored she's going to be in there, so they're bringing that character back. It sounds like Daredevil's getting his series. Now I am looking forward to that. Daredevil Born Again.
18 episodes they're doing for that.
Yeah,
so it's a long series, and it sounds like it's a one-shot series. And he will be appearing in She-Hulk. That was confirmed too, which comes out next month. With the trailer they released for that. And then Thunderbolts, I really don't care for. I mean, I will see how it comes up, but I think Thunderbolts could be this line's Eternals.
Yeah, I gotta say, overall, I think Marvel's losing it, and we'll see if I'm hoping Phase 5 recovers, but there's only about half that stuff I'm semi excited for. I think they're just getting too BS now. So we'll see.
Yeah,
the last couple projects have been shit, and just it's nothing but woke messaging. And
and we'll see how that goes. How they treat the showcase on that stuff, because I think that if they spend too much on that, they definitely will start losing the crowd and people won't go see it. So
and that's the problem is I think they got too big for their own good. When they were at the start of this, they had to make stuff that would make the fan base turn out, because the fan base was the only thing that would turn out.
Yeah.
Now they've expanded beyond the fan base, and now they're like, well, we don't need you guys anymore, so we're gonna start doing things like completely changing the Submariner to be something he completely is not, just to fit some diversity role.
Well, I think the problem I've had with any of the superhero stuff is they have a definite origin. I don't care the actor they use. I don't care either way, to be honest with you at this point in time. But
here's the thing.
Let me get my point out. The point is if they're not going to have him in Atlantis, then that takes away the whole character. He's not Namor then.
But that's my point. Yeah, just name him something different. Make an original villain then, and then people would receive him well, because he's not. Just make him a different character.
Yeah, I don't like that they are changing the origin. That's where they failed with the last Fantastic Four movies. They changed the origin completely. The 2 prior ones were just okay, but they were poorly written.
Yeah.
Stuff like that. But yeah, that's been my problem with it. It's like, when you use actor, fine. I don't really care. They can say this is what Atlanteans look like in our universe. That's fine. But now saying he's not from Atlantis, he's from somewhere else, that's where I have a problem with it, because that's not the character.
But if any character should be white, it should be some character that lives deep under the ocean and never sees sunlight. Why would he come out nice and tan?
Well, I guess we have to question that for Jason Momoa too then.
Exactly. Like, it makes no sense. Like, put him in a sunny location then or something. I don't know.
No, there's no real
unless there's some bright sun under the ocean we don't know about.
Yeah.
So, anyways,
but yeah, they had a few other announcements here and there. They got a new Spider-Man cartoon coming out. They did not announce anything Spider-Man related movie wise.
Was there any Star Wars announcements? I don't recall hearing any.
No, but the setup there was they had stuff set up there. But I think all the we got to keep in mind D23 is coming out in a few weeks.
Yeah,
While
and
they
Celebration happened.
well they had Celebration announced stuff. D23 is coming up, so what we're gonna
Yeah,
see there probably is a few more announcement stuff that Disney's been pacing through everything. They
yeah,
primarily that though they had a presence on the floor. Their primary stuff I think for the panels was comic stuff a little bit, and then mainly was release in this phase.
yeah,
And they were bringing in a lot of the cast for different stuff. And the cast for some of them hung out. A couple people walked around. I saw people had pictures of Matt Smith. He was there for the Doctor Who stuff. And then some of the other cast kind of hinted I went on the floor a little bit, but not much. They barely walked around because most of them were just they came in and then they left. There wasn't many big cast signings either. So
yeah. We should also discuss here. Let me pop this up because it's a perfect still shot. I just happened to stop on.
yeah,
DC, they had their announcements. They had the Shazam trailer. I just happened to pause on that.
yeah. Like,
But Shazam 2, Fury of the Gods. I'm just doing
yep,
some still shots. I'm looking forward to this movie. I really enjoyed the first one.
yep.
Looking forward to that.
And then they had the Black Adam trailer, and The Rock
yeah,
came out and introduced that.
which there was some I'm trying to find a good still shot of The Rock, but anyways, there we go. As Black Adam, he came out. It sounds like Henry Cavill's Superman scene got cut along with Zachary Levi's Shazam scene.
Yeah.
They were going to have some scene with them in it, and it got cut. And I heard fans were booing at that.
Well, I think they cut it, but part of it too is I don't think they filmed it. I think it was cut
Yeah,
prior to filming.
yeah.
And that's I think because Cavill's been working on The Witcher, and he's not. It's like 1 minute he's in, 1 minute he's out, so we don't know what he's doing with the DC
But
universe.
all the hype was really going up all week. I don't know if you knew about it because you were actually there, but here all over the internet, Henry Cavill was going to be at the DC panel. So everyone, the buzz was just going through the roof that they were going to announce him, and then they say he wasn't going to be in there. So it was like I
Well,
think everybody was building up like
he
he's going to
got
be.
COVID last week. He got COVID last week.
Oh, is that what it is?
Yeah. So if there is going to be something in Black Adam, they may have said, "Hey, screw it, we're not even going to say it now. We'll just make it a big reveal."
Yeah,
Or, they're just they were going to announce something different with him. But I think we'll see. I think if Shazam and Black Adam both do well enough, we'll see them go into a Black Adam Shazam movie, which could then tie in Superman if Cavill's coming back. And I'd like to
yeah.
see that. I mean, those three are some of the most powerful beings in the DC universe.
Yeah. So that I really hope they bring Cavill back, even if they scrap the Snyderverse, which sounds like is happening because it was discovered the majority of the support online was actually these Twitter bots that Elon Musk uncovered. So turns out no one really gives a crap about Snyderverse. It was all fake.
I saw it, and it didn't change the fact that the movie still to me was lackluster. I know people
Yeah.
loved it. I didn't love it. I thought the story was kind of blah, and I think
I
they were trying
do
too much.
like the characters, like Henry Cavill as Superman, Gal Gadot as Wonder Woman. So I wouldn't mind if they kept those actors in those roles and just don't even destroy the Snyderverse. Just move on.
Yeah.
It doesn't have to be part of that. Just move on. Black Adam, Shazam, I think are setting a great foundation for the future of DC. Just grow into those and keep using the same characters. It's okay.
Yep. No, I completely agree on that, and I wish I'd like to see more of that. I'm looking forward to Shazam. Look forward to Black Adam.
Let's see.
And then see how they go.
Did you see the Dungeons and Dragons reveal?
I did. I saw the trailer for it. The trailer was better than the initial costume reveal they showed.
The costume reveal was bad.
I'm still not necessarily sold on it. They're going in the Forgotten Realms part of Dungeons and Dragons.
But I feel like the problem is they're just trying to copy Guardians of the Galaxy's feel and humor and put it into a Game of Thrones cheesy setting.
Yes, I felt that way too. I at this point in time, I don't have any initial plans to go see it in the theater.
Yeah.
I was looking forward to a Dungeons and Dragons movie. I personally think that I've said this before. They need to go back and hit the old cartoon, and because they did that live action commercial over in Europe, which looked really phenomenal. But go back and create that kind of characters and drag them into the Dungeons and Dragons universe that way and expound it from there. And it would be, I would enjoy that.
Yeah.
There's a lot of great source material books from the 80s that would be good. Uh,
Oh
but
yeah.
they took a basic setting and then they're doing the song. And like I said, I mean, the whole thing with Chris Pine, he's playing and skipping down I'm like,
Yeah.
you're a bard thief. Okay, great. So we got you. Big deal.
I have to say, I do not understand the popularity of Chris Pine. I like him as Captain Kirk in Star Trek.
Mhm.
However, everything else he does, he annoys the hell out of me,
Well, I
and I
liked him in
don't understand it.
the one with Denzel Washington with the train. I liked him in that
Okay.
one. He was really good. Um, I
I
he
just think
probably,
he's mediocre.
he's an okay actor. I don't think I don't think he's something that has to lead everything.
Yeah.
So
And I
it's
feel like he's basically the same guy in everything he does. It's just it
yeah,
works as Kirk.
yeah.
I don't know. But so
Well,
Dungeons and Dragons, I'm kind of if you want to include it where the game aspect,
mhm.
something like Jumanji, the way they're doing it would work out well.
Yes,
Um, or if you want to go the serious tone, like have you seen the latest trailer for the Lord of the Rings?
yeah. It looks good.
I'm
The
loving it.
powering, definitely they had a good trailer there.
Looking forward to that.
Yeah, and that looked good too. And it's just yeah, this whole Dungeons and Dragons thing, I was just definitely disappointed. The Dungeons and Dragons movie came out in 2000 was definitely it was low budget. It got panned a lot. It wasn't bad. It was definitely had a little more humor involved than it could have needed, but and they left it open ended. But it was definitely a B movie and meant to be a B movie because they had no money.
Yeah,
Um,
it looked like it was made for the Sci-Fi Channel.
Yeah, and that's what it was. I mean, it really I had like most of their money went to Jeremy Irons because he's the biggest name in it. And
Yeah,
then the Wayans brothers in it, I think, had a percentage. And then the guy that starred in it, he actually was a producer on it. So, but yeah, the Lord of the Rings sounds good. When they finally announced the other month what this was going to be about, it's following the similarities to follow the pre Lord of the Rings, because it's called the Power of the Rings and stuff like that.
yeah.
So, but they definitely had a definite presence there at Comic Con. Um, I got to tell you though, I think that the Marvel is probably the biggest reveal that people were kind of talking about a little bit. There wasn't, we heard a lot of booms and deep basses coming out of this. They were showing a lot of stuff in Hall H because it was next to where Kevin was at, but um, there was no real buzz on the floor for anything. Like 3 years ago, the buzz was like Maverick, and a couple of the
Right.
Marvel stuff coming up. I didn't catch any big buzz. People were kind of just like there. So yeah, there's a lot of Lord of the Rings backstories to be told. I mean, and his descendants, Tolkien's descendants, are actually behind this and the story stuff like that. So, Prey looked good. Prey
Yeah,
was
that's
being
what I'm
talked about. The
trying to get
trailer,
a good still shot there.
yeah,
Pray, but it's
and
not doing it.
it's the thing is that it's funny. People I kind of heard talking, oh, it's like a prequel to Predator. It's not a prequel per se. It's just set in an earlier time.
It's
I
the
mean,
universe, yeah.
yeah, it's the Predators, and the Predator looks a little different, but of course he's mixing and going after Native Americans.
Right.
It launches next week, a week from Friday, I believe it is.
And
Um,
the early reviews are this is the Predator we've been waiting for.
they did a screening, I guess. I didn't go to it, but they did a screening at its panel, and it sounds like it was very well received.
Yeah.
So definitely looking forward to that.
Let's
Um,
see. Sandman.
Sandman looks good. That got a good reception, I think. Not great, looks good. I'll check that out next month. And a lot of this stuff's coming pretty quick, so there's nothing like,
Yeah.
hey, you got to wait another year or so, other than the Marvel stuff. A lot of this stuff we're gonna have in the next 3 months. House of Dragon, other than the outside setup thing they had, nobody's talking about it.
Yeah, it's they
And that's why Matt Smith was there too, because he's part of House of Dragon. So
the sad part is Game of Thrones was an amazing series.
yeah.
And it's just they last Jedi'd the final season.
Yeah.
and they had like the most powerful fan base in the world and they killed it. And now this is coming out, which hopefully will be good, but even myself, I'm going to watch it, but I am not expecting to like it. I hope it blows me away. I hope it gives me all the same. I remember Game of Thrones, it was like an hour-long episode, and it would finish, and you're like, that felt like 10 minutes. How was it done? Like, you were so immersed, and they just killed it in that final season. And, so sad.
I've not been thrilled with this one since they announced it. Personally, I'm tired of, well, we want to do a sequel, but we can't, so we'll do a prequel until everything happened beforehand and more detail. And it's just not We know where it ends. It's just like I couldn't get into Better Call Saul for that reason. Star Wars was a little different. I can still watch the prequels on Star Wars, but those are movies. Series wise, I have a hard problem with series prequels.
Yeah. I
Because
think
again, you know the ending.
part of it with Star Wars is they've never made anything in sequence.
No.
You have to like track the timelines. Like, okay, where are we? Where are we? Everything. Are we 1,000 years before, 1,000 years after, 5 years before? Everything's based on Battle of Yavin.
Yeah.
And so I think we're just used to jumping all over the place for
Yeah.
that.
But what's his
Walking
name?
Dead final season's coming up too. I didn't even
Yeah.
know they were still around.
Yeah, George R. Martin was supposed to be at Comic-Con. He canceled. He's doing a signing or something. No big deal there. Picard final season. They've been revealing what everybody looked like in that. So they're bringing back pretty much everybody.
Yeah.
And then that'll finish that up, final season, and then
Teen Wolf.
they are currently filming Strange New Worlds. So season 2 is in active filming now.
Yeah, they did the behind the scenes on there. For this one, I'll do as in honor of my daughter. Me and her used to always watch the Teen Wolf series on MTV. We absolutely loved it. It was so fun. They're doing a Teen Wolf movie.
Yes.
So we're both really looking forward to that. The final like 2 seasons of Teen Wolf kind of fell apart because they were losing all their actors were becoming big names and moving on, and I think they lost a lot of their writers. So but this will be good. I think I'm looking forward to this Teen Wolf the movie.
Okay, I watched that a couple seasons. I just never really got into it that much.
Yeah, I think it helps if you have a teenage daughter because it like really spoke to like her.
Right.
So.
Yeah. So it's there's a lot of stuff happening at Comic-Con, a lot of reveals, a lot of stuff coming up. Some things I'm forward to, some things I'm not. It's I did see they did a Simpsons panel. That's another one I sat in on Saturday. Read about that one too. They had some of the writers
still
there.
doing new episodes of that?
Oh yeah.
Wow.
Oh, yeah.
How long have they been on the air?
30-something years.
Wow.
What they're doing this year was kind of cool. They're doing their regular Treehouse of Horror, which is one I always try to watch. So it had the 3 segments, but they're doing a second Treehouse of Horror. The entire episode is a parody of It with Krusty the Clown as It.
Oh, that's good.
And it's because they kept seeing all these guys have tattoos done of Krusty the Clown as It. So they're like, oh, we're going to make it.
Those voice actors have to be like so happy. That started off as just a little stupid skit on the Tracy Ullman show.
Yeah.
As this little bit. And here they are 30-something years later, still doing the voices.
Oh yeah, and they're making like $250,000 an episode or something like that. And they're making like regular sitcom money for voiceover work and that. That's a show that I think no matter what is going to continue on, just because it's a cash cow continuously. It costs money to produce. They do put a lot of money into it, but the results are just astronomical. Even like American Dad, which is kind of like it's part of that Family Guy type universe stuff. They're cash cows on the back end for them because of reruns and things like that.
Well, the reality too with the Simpsons is they could probably fire the entire animation department, and just with how many hours of footage they have, they could re-edit past animations into whatever script they want.
Yeah, so they're over like 600 or 700 episodes. It's crazy. So but yeah, it'll keep going. That was fine, and a lot of stuff I just don't watch anymore because it is so far into it. It's like it's a lot of rehash. I mean, Family Guy just feels like there are a lot of rehash stuff. Although the Family Guy premiere was good because they're doing that 3 different stories, telling like 3 different movies. Peter's telling these movies, so. And they weren't bad. They did like a Silence of the Lambs. They did a couple others in that. So
they did a Star Wars one, didn't they?
They did 3 Star Wars on that. They called it the Blue Milk one, which was the original Star Wars, which is great. That one was actually brilliant. The Empire Strikes Back when they did was okay, and then they come back and the opening for the Return of the Jedi was you know what we're doing. Here's Return of the Jedi, and you can tell at this point they just did it because they had to do all 3. And then, one of the kids asked in the show, I think it was Meg, goes, well, what about the prequels? We'll leave that to the Cleveland show. Well, that show got canceled. So, but yeah, so a lot of cool stuff at Comic-Con. I mean, it's, I got a chance to catch up with some people like on Rika Zhang, and she's got a lot of cool stuff going on in her comics. I saw Barry and his wife from Kablam, which I've dealt with them for 17 years now, almost. Great people, and if you're looking to publish or print your comics in just very short runs, they're a great way to go. Talked to Billy Tucci for a minute. He announced he's going to be doing a Rocketeer comic, but it sounds like it's for the Ukraine initiative thing. So I'm not sure how it's going to be released. And I'm trying to think of a few other people there, but yeah, talked to a couple other people here in Artist Alley. Hadn't seen them all, like Tom Wynn and a few others. So a lot of good stuff. So like I said, I had fun there. I was hoping to set up. It didn't work out this time, but we'll see how it goes for next year.
Yeah.
So
Good
that's
times. Well, San Diego's always a good trip. A lot of fun. Now it'll take you a week to recover.
Yeah, I'm always recovering for these trips. It takes me. I don't care if it's the same time zone or not. It takes me forever to recover anymore. It feels like so.
Yeah,
We'll see. We'll see.
Yep.
We head out to Colorado Springs in 3 weeks, so and that'll be fun
right,
too. So
right around the corner.
Yep. Anything else, Scott?
That's it. It's been a super busy last couple weeks for real estate, so I gotta get back into that. I got some more inspections today and that kind of fun stuff for a buyer, and but in the meantime, just trying to work on. I had 2 commissions come in, so I am taking care of those. And I got to get back onto Crimson Shadows 4.
Yep.
It's like with commissions, I try not to take commissions, and so you'll say a price to make them go away, and then they accept that price. And crap, I didn't want to do it. I want to work on my books.
Yep.
So it's a good problem, but so we got to whip out those, and then. Yeah, Kevin's starting to ink, so that's exciting. So yeah, I'm just looking forward. And then in my evenings, I've been writing when I'm home, and I'm not. Sometimes your brain's you're not in a drawing mode because it's so late. So I've been writing. So I've been developing another book, 64-page book. So we'll see. And then if I ever can find a good, dependable artist to pay that's going to be on time, I'll hire them to draw that book.
There you go.
I can't draw every book.
No.
I have limits. So Crimson Shadows is my baby.
Not with a day job. So Crimson Shadows, if someone come and buy the rights up and pay Scott a big chunk of money so he can draw all day long, he'd be fine.
Or if you guys can start doing 3.2 million raised for Crimson Shadows, I'll be able to afford to dedicate full time to writing and drawing.
Yeah, we're doing 3.2 million Kickstarters. That'd be great. So
yeah, someday.
Yeah,
someday.
All right, man.
All right.
Hey, we'll see y'all next week. Bye.
Take care.